Welcome to another episode of the Coffee Conversations, powered by Lions Club of Mumbai Shining, the Emerging India Forum TEIF, IPG, the Indian Business Group. Today's theme is Stree Shakti, the energy with you and the energy within you and around you. Today with us, we have Mrs. Shraddha Subramnian, India's first intuition expert, business and executive coach. Today's host are Mr. Amirr Virani and me, myself, Mansoor Thakral. And today's topic is, what the heck is why should we go for a business coach? First, ground rules. We'll be having this conversation in three parts. One is going to be the professional journey, the personal journey, and the third part would be a fun element. The professional journey would be done by Mr. Amirr Virani, while the personal and fun element would be done by me. All right, so let's begin our journey. We'd like to call upon Mr. Amirr Virani to ask the professional questions to Shraddha. Over to you, sir.
So welcome, Shraddha.
Thank you, Amirr.
Pleasure to have you on our coffee conversation. So as Mansoor has said, this is a very different format of a coffee conversation, very different from a chat show. Before I start, Shraddha, tell us something about yourself in terms of who you are, your educational background, or anything you want to share.
Okay, so first of all, thank you, Amirr, for having me here. About me, my name is Shraddha Subramnian. I'm India's first intuition expert, as Mansoor introduced me. But the journey had been immense, of immense value to me as a person. And now what I do is I help business owners to generate 10x revenue in half the time they have planned for, using the power of intuitions and energy work. So mainly people say that, when it is business, it's strategy, it's all about strategy. But I say strategies don't work unless you are aligned for your own success. So in a bit, this is what I do. And my journey has been very enriching. Before being a coach, I was part of the IT industry. I was an employee, so the journey from an employee to entrepreneur, and now helping entrepreneurs as if I am impacting the Indian economy is something excites me so much.
So let's begin the real round. I've heard about or interacted with mindfulness, wellness, emotional, spiritual experts or coach. This word of you being an intuition expert has got me very attracted and very intrigued. Tell us about this. What is an intuition expert and what do you do in being an intuition expert?
So intuitions, all of us have intuitions. We are born with it and everybody has it. Now, there are two ways to decision making, Amirr. One is through intuitions and the other is through statistics. Statistics could be your past experiences, your market research, and all of it which is outside of you or not as a person who you are today. So all of that comes under statistics, and the other way to make decisions is through intuitions. Now, if you look at it, if you tap into your own intuitions, your decision making over a period of time, you will find that you are progressing much faster, much better. Being an intuition expert as my forte, I can actually be with people in their point of challenge when I have a discovery call with them and can tell them where exactly they are blocked. So that is the bit of an the intuitive way I have developed, or I would say I'm blessed to have that. So that part, when I realized, when I became aware about it, that this is something that I have as a strength, and I started to use it in my business, in my work more and more, I identified and I went back, how can I teach my people, my clients, the business owners to actually get into and use this as their own power to really harness the outcomes that they want by just tapping within themselves. So this is where, the whole journey started, when I realized, and then I got more and more sampling as I went on, coaching so many people, hundreds of people. I work with so many business owners now. So it's like that. And, I feel that this is one of the things that is a must in anybody's life, specifically when you're making any kind of decision.
Can you share some examples where someone has come to you and what difference through your intuition coaching made this event from A to B?
Okay, so
because this is a very new subject.
Example is one of my clients. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah, so that's why I'm asking you more questions, because I myself is very excited to know why everyone has intuition. You said right. Everyone has intuition, because now sitting with you, I'm also having some intuition. What to ask. So like, just go on. Sorry.
Yes. So for example, one of my clients is a psychotherapist, and he always wanted to work with celebrities. And on his horizon, the space was like 10 years down the line, I'll start to work with celebrities. And that's what the vision he had. Working with me now, almost in a year, within a year, he has started to work with celebrities. So that kind of, shift already has begun, like from 10 years to 1 year, that is a major, massive one. And for a lot of business owners, apart from the kind of work they want to do, the kind of clientele they want to, work with, the kind of financial journey they have gone through has been immense. Like, one of the pillars of my work is setting the unreasonable revenue goal, because when you set it, you know why you can't achieve it, right? Because if it is reasonable, obviously everybody goes on and does haphazard working, and everything is there in place. And somehow with a lot of burnout, you'll somehow achieve it. But when I say, okay, go on, let's set up an unreasonable one, and from there, let's see how much we can achieve and why you can't achieve that unreasonable one, because you're not internally aligned. When I say that, your business is your extension all the time. So I have umpteen number of examples where my clients have been able to achieve the unreasonable within half the time of the program. They are working with me, and for the next half, they've set a next unreasonable one. So from that aspect, the bank has to take away. So one of the example is the bank. One of my clients had to pay the bank amount, and then every month he would say, okay, wait for it, because I will let you know. But there have been a space, like within 2 months being in the program with me, he was ready 15 days before with the amount that, and he went and told the bank that I'm ready, you can take the amount away. So there are a lot of examples like that. Another example of a art gallery owner in Hyderabad. When he reached out to me, he was saying, I'm not able to expand my business, Shraddha. And intuitively, I went on, doing a deep conversation with him. Within 5 minutes, asking him about his life and all of that, I told him that, you have been a second or third child, and you were always sent to your elder ones for any need of yours by your parents. And it's not like your parents did it deliberately, but then it happens. Now, you being a father of 2 children, you feel that I have to be around my children because I didn't receive that much of attention and love from my parents. And in that, he was just spending the quantity time and not the quality time. So this piece, I could get it in just like 5 minutes of conversation. And when I told him that, there was a massive breakthrough already in that phase, because he was trying different strategies. He was doing so much already, but nothing was working out. And that's where the pattern which came into space. You actually become like your parents, or you don't want to be like your parents. These are the same kind of patterns which are there. And there are so many patterns that we live in our life as such. These are the patterns which are like your default mode. Like we have default mode in our phones, in our laptops, in all the devices. As much as a human body and your mind and your internal self, even your internal navigation system, the intuitions, you don't tap into that. You actually get onto the default mode. So every time you want to take another action or a different action, it becomes difficult because the default mode gets triggered. So this is all, tapping into intuitions can literally help people. And another example, if I want to give you here, is imagine a cow, left on a golf course, but the cow is tied with a peg. So she can just graze the field till the circumference of the circle, depending on the length of the rope, right? But if I remove that peg, then the cow has like a open full golf course to graze. Exactly, in human life and business, the golf course is the level of expansion that we can feel in our own lives and businesses. And what I do with my intuitions is I remove that peg in human lives and for the business owners per se, because when that is done, you can go on shifting the income orbit very easily. A lot of business owners come to me like, we have reached the space, it's not getting beyond that, Shraddha. And I say, okay, let's identify what is the peg here. And then when I go on removing it, like just like that, through my intuitions, and I help them to tap on their own, then everything is expanded. And that's what I believe in. We all have that power. It is just that peg needs to be removed. That's it.
Good analogy you have given, Shraddha. I'll remember this peg remove. I was just remembering something because you also connected with intuition, energy, and channeling. You must be knowing about channeling.
Yep.
So,
Yes.
yeah, so you're very blessed by the divine command. Your intuitive abilities, you're able to get it into 5 minutes. What is the peg and when to unplug it and the direction to give. Now, continue your conversation. You have added one more this thing, being a business and executive coaching. I'd like to know about, because nowadays we see most of the trainers are becoming like a coach. So just want to know what is a business executive coach he or she does, and what work you all do.
Okay. So basically, from a business coach point of view, from a business coaching point of view, another analogy, if I want to give, like we have coach in sports. So if there is a goal that a sports person wants to achieve, what could be the best way to harness their strengths and help them with different kinds of tools? But my techniques are different than a usual business coach, because in the business coaching industry as such, people look forward for strategies, and I say strategies don't work unless you work, your internal navigation system works. So that is where I always come from. Your worst of your strategies will work if you are working, if you are aligned internally for that level of success. And you can apply best of strategies, but it will not work if you are ready with your own pieces which are aligned. So here, as a business coach, helping businesses to achieve whatever they want to in terms of the revenue, in terms of profitability, in terms of number of clients, in terms of the segments on the market they want to get into as such, faster, better, and in as much short span of time as possible, is what a business coach does in general. From an executive point of view, the CEOs of the corporates or the organizations per se, you want to help that level, because, there if you look at it, the whole direction shifts based on the mindset, based on how the CEO is conducting himself or herself. So the whole course or the growth of the organization actually depends on how the CEO is operating. And that's where, we go on enhancing that level. There are certain challenges sometimes that they face. So obviously helping them out, ironing themselves versus their potential versus how they can be best presenting them in terms of, helping the organization grow. So how can they keep themselves out of the role that they are playing? Sometimes we bring all ourselves in the roles, and there's no differentiation. As I always say, that the default mode gets kicked on, right, all the time. So how, help them to actually not get into that kind of a space and literally operate from a space which is which is beneficial for the organization per se, and the whole of, growth, the holistic path. And this is what the executive coach does, right?
Interesting. Another thing you have added, you're the lighthouse, and your coaches, you give them the navigation tools. So this thing I've been learning in this conversation, many this captivating one-liners from you. So continuing, when did you shift from being an employee to being an entrepreneur? That thing, and what challenges did you face in your initial times?
So I would say immense, because it's not easy to do that, as I said. More than internal ones, because I knew that I wanted to do this, because I knew that I am meant to do this, because I knew that no matter what, how many challenges would come, I would still go on and do this space, because that's my internal calling. So apart from that, there were a lot. So one of them was like, my father was not happy with this choice, because he always wanted me to, because I come from a employee family per se, and nobody in my family is a business owner. So obviously that level of security that you have in your jobs today, so that is also not there. But then still, the thing which felt was that was one part of it. And for me, he being there was very important, because he has been one of my biggest cheerleaders and supporter in whatever I did so far, as a person, as an employee, as a daughter. All of that mattered. So obviously that was one of the biggest one. Number two was like, my mom was a cancer patient. She was not well, severely ill, I would say. And again, it was a conversation where whether to actually step into something new, or stick to what I have and then go on. But then, as I said, it was inner calling, and I just did what I wanted to, irrespective of the fact that the challenges were there. The challenges kept on coming. And the third one, I would not call it as a challenge per se, but yes, my daughter was just 2 years old when I actually chose to take this step. Generally, they say you as an employee, at least you should not think about even a next level, possibly in the org space, if you are there as a new mother or kind of a thing. But then I was ready, so I did that. So these were the spaces which were there, obviously. And the fourth one was leaving the hefty corporate salary, of course, because I was working with a corporate, and I was working at a senior level. So to have that courage to go on not having that bank balance every month coming into your account that way. So yeah, these were there. But then the two were initial major ones with my family per se. So that is what it is.
What about the client side? How were they receptive to you being intuitive coach and a business and executive coaching? How were they taking to you? Shifting from a corporate background, you have worked at HSBC, TCS, Morgan Stanley. Your corporate profile is well impressive. But coming into and guiding them, the entrepreneurs, they have got a the mindset. So how were they taking to you?
Right. So I don't think that it came in way between my coaching as such per se, ever, I would say, because the way I conducted myself and the way I actually went on creating the difference. So it didn't come in between. It only added more value because of the professional expertise I had, because of the way I conducted myself. So that added value to what I did for my people. So they have been receptive. Yes, over a period of time, I built myself up. Amirr, it was not just like, I left my job and the day two people were ready to work with me and all of that. It took a while for things to actually work out and go on. And in between also, there have been a lot of challenges, because as an entrepreneur, when I started, it's been like you start as a solopreneur. You don't have a team as such in general to start with, right? And you're doing everything like speaking to people, if you are on the social media, you're doing that also. You're talking to prospects, you're coaching also, you are designing your own flyers and everything which was there, I was doing it. And in between, I left formally my job in 2018, and 2019 my mother passed away, 2020 my father passed away. And the journey had been difficult because every time I started, I thought that, now I am ready to take that next step, or this is how I'm going to evolve myself. I'm going to put an effort to do this bit. There have been spaces where, you are stuck with yourself. A lot of grief is happening, and there's a lot that happened, in this 4 years period, I would say. And I always say it happens for good. Like I got my own sense of learnings from that space, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically. It made me much stronger of whatever experiences I've had. So I would say, it was not the first space. The way I went on learning and the learnings came into my life have contributed to be the person who I am today. And that is what shows up in the work that I do. That is what shows up in the coaching that I do for the business owners, for people, because they know there is an immense strength rooted inside of me from which I operate. And that is very well respected. So I am happy about it. It took the course to actually take its own path, took a bit of a time, but I think it was actually operating as a bamboo. The bamboo takes 6 months to deep rooted, and then it shoots up like that. I think that is where I also consider myself, and I consider myself blessed enough to have all these experiences which shaped me so far. So I would say what people get in 40 years of lifetime, I got in 10 years. The whole churning out of you as a person, and you are grilled so much, put under pressure, and you still, sometimes you survive, sometimes you excel. And then now when you start excelling, you know that what works, and you know that you have made it, that this is how you want to inspire others to do so. And that shows up in my work completely.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'd like to know, or rather, you have worked with various business owners, CAs, CFOs, CXOs. What about, do you work with teams?
Yes, of course, I work with teams as well. Yeah.
So, what areas do you work? What areas do you work on, and what are the requirements a business owner when he comes to you, tells you, I want this improvements to be happening with my team. So can you share some examples and stories over there?
Yeah, so obviously, so when I work with business owners, Amirr, it is not only the business owner. I work with them holistically. So when I start working with them, so first work is with them, because they are the source of everything, whatever they are doing in their business. They are communicating with their teams. They are the ones who are showing up in the market. They are the ones who are having the interactions. So that is there. But intuitively over a period of time, when we start to work, and in couple of conversations, I realized that there is a root inside in their system itself. By system I mean their teams and everything, which is not working. So how I go about is, I take a step forward and I say, what, it's just not about you. Let me now, the time has come to percolate your vision to your team, because you have such an immense big vision, and you have been having so many, you have been working out for yourself, doing, and you have got a course of things that has started to work for you. Now let's focus on your team. Where exactly is your team? What exactly they're doing? How are they placed? What are their strengths, and what is not working? So I have actually gone, and when I get into their offices, or maybe I'm doing a session virtually with them, I'm again able to identify, like, this person is stuck here. So I have these notes where I make, the name and the person where this person is stuck, with like 2, 3, 4 questions in general. You get the vibe, you get the level of understanding, and it's again more intuitive. I tap into the energy and I identify, like, if I have to say in this moment, Amirr and Mansoor, you're getting my energies, and I'm constantly getting back vibes from you, the energy from you. And maybe post the conversation, I can share a few bits about you both. So that's the kind of thing that I get to know about their team members. And then I go about pinpointing the team members to the business owner. We have a discussion completely around what's working, what's not working. This person, whether he or she can let them go, because if it is that not working for the business owner, I go on suggesting that as well. Or we go about sharing that, okay, this is the person, and I even go and talk to the person one-on-one per se. So this is the kind of thing that I bring about, because the alignment, as much as internally is important for the business owner to succeed, the alignment within the organization is equally important. And if it is not there, so like the business owner wants to move in the direction X, but if the team member is moving in the direction of Y, there is again a conflict, and it doesn't work that way. So I go about, my biggest word, or I would say the kind of work that I do, is more on the space of alignment. The more the alignment, the more the things are working out. The more you are misaligned, the more it is going to create a mess. The more you are misaligned, there is a lot of operational things you are getting into. You are sucked up in the day-to-day activities, and then you are not focusing on the business development part of it. So I go on literally ironing all those, business operations space where the misalignment exists. So I am blessed to have, I can easily identify the misalignment, in the crowd of people, with you as a person, so that is one of the things that I can do with this.
Any aha moment which you have experienced during this sessions? You have about yourself and about your during your discovery call, or during sessions, during your journey in your 4 years. Any aha moment?
I think every conversation has aha moments, Amirr, and that's what I go with openness. Every conversation, I would say, and as much as I add value to them, they add value to me. And that is where the energy exchange goes in. Because I don't go with the fact that, okay, I'm the coach and I know everything and I'm going to crack this for them and all of that. I don't go with that. And immensely, I don't want to go with that, because I'm a learner. Like, after the last moment of my life, I would want to be a learner, really enjoying the learning space. It can come from anybody on the planet, anybody, and everybody. Like, even if you walk in the nature, like I was recently in the mountains in Himachal in May end, and there also I got so many immense learnings looking at the nature itself. And I think that is what something I would want to always persist in all my conversations, be it with elderly, be it with children, be it with my age, be it with business owners, be it with a casual conversation, everywhere, like, being aware, observant that this is the aha moment of this conversation. So this is where, I always go in, and I feel very grateful and blessed that for so many people I've coached so far, they have also taught me. They have helped me unfold another layer of me as a person, another layer where I can test my own limits. I can go limitless on that front. So yes, while I have helped them to really move on their journeys very immensely, literally fly, they have helped me as well. So I think, the immensely aha moments, like that is, I would say that. Yeah.
So I hope you also adding to that aha moment.
Yeah, of course you are. Of course, there is something that I'm learning here as well. And I really look forward for that. That's why I enjoy conversations, Amirr, because there is so much to learn.
Yeah. Because in your field, conversation is much more important. So coming to the next question, which is very important for all coaches. So what model do you follow for lead generation? What step do you
Model do I follow? Okay, so because one of my pillars of work with business owners is raising energies to attract the clients. That is one part of it. So I don't go on hunting clients per se. What I do is a lot of my work comes from referrals. That's number one part of it, because the kind of things that I've done with people, they've found immense value, and then they have asked their family members or their people to actually work with me. So that's one part of it. The other part, whenever I go about having conversations with people, I don't look at it as, oh, this is the first conversation, so I should be like mindful, or I should be like holding myself back, or I should be not sharing what I have to share, or not say what I have to say. So I don't hold myself back in any of the conversations. And I think that is one of the key elements of my lead generation, because, I go on saying, even it could be the toughest of things that, you would not want to say in the first conversation, right? If you talk about it, business is more about deals. And deals happen when people like behave in a manner that the other one want them to behave, not as the way they want to behave. Like, so if I have to categorize, there are 50% of people who are like you, and there are 50% people who are not like you. So if 50% people, you'll work with them because they're like you, and it is all goody, you can do that. But then when it comes to the rest 50%, and if the rest 50% actually lies in your like target audience, the target customers, or they are in your 1%, 2% of your business, that level, if you want to do, how are you going to go about it? So a lot of people do that. Okay, I will play small, and I say, you don't have to do that. You have to be just natural as the way you are. And you will not believe, Amirr, there have been times I have not run the Facebook ads much per se, only once or twice till, in this 4-year period, I would say. But in that also, people have started to work with me irrespective of the fact that they don't know me per se. They say that you need to have a presence, you need to be showing up and all of that. I don't want to call it as a drama, but then I always say that your energy speaks. If your energy is speaking, you are converting your deals in the first conversation itself. And I have people who didn't knew me. I just got them through maybe the Facebook ad, or they had seen me in some event, or maybe they are part of the common group, but they haven't interacted with me. Only in the first interaction they come to know me, and then they are happy to work with me. So this is how I keep on adding value to the conversations. This is how I keep showing up with all the openness and the possibilities, not with me getting to work with them, because there is also an element of fear people have when they go for deals, that, oh, I should not upset this person by saying something, otherwise this deal may not happen, it will elongate. I don't have any of that fear. If you're destined to work with me, I will work with you and you will work with me. If I am destined to be your guide in any of the manners, being a coach or being a friend or being an associate, whatever way it is, I will be told to do so. And that's why we have this conversation, and that's why you may work with me. So I go fearlessly on that. And my request to all the business owners would be that you be yourself. You have the confidence in yourself, your services, your products, that this is what you can solve. And if you find a problem that you can't solve, better don't get into that, or say you can enhance. Don't try to fit the problem solution part of it. A lot of business owners do that, for which I don't feel that that is required, because the universe is expanding already. So if not this person, you will have another person to work with. But then you don't have to go on fitting up your spaces as such, because fitting up is always doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. If it has to be like a jigsaw puzzle, exactly the piece matching the piece. You can't put another piece over there just for the sake that it will fit, because overall the puzzle will not look beautiful. So that is another way I go about, having fearless conversations with anybody and everybody I meet, and adding value, because that's important. So that's precisely my secret to lead generation.
I'll just have one or two, three questions, and then I'll hand over to Mansoor, because it's like I think so. We might be having second part with you, second conversation, coffee conversation with you. There are a lot more things.
I would be more than happy to do that. I'm enjoying this so much, Amirr.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. So, what advice would you give to a budding trainer or any person who wants to become a coach, and what certifications he has to, if he has to take through, and what steps should he follow from being a successful coach?
I think from a certification point of view, I don't recommend any, because the whole base of certification is like you are looking forward for external validation. So certificates don't go well with me. So that is one point. I would say that you don't have to look forward really to get certified and then feel that I'm certified, so I am competent enough. You are already competent enough. If you are choosing to be on a path where you can make a difference to this world by even this much percent, a drop in the ocean, then if you are there, as a passion, you want to take it up, go ahead, do that. But the only aspect that I would want them to watch out for is be yourself. That's very important, because in this whole world where there is so many of shiny objects around there, identifying a real diamond is very important. And you have to identify that real diamond within you yourself. What is it that I can offer to the world to make it better? One of the things that I always I pledge for and I always look forward is I want to leave this place, the planet Earth, in a much better shape than I got it. I received it. And that is one of my visions, as well as I say that I want to impact your fifth generation to come. And then that is my vision. Imagine what kind of a conversation I need to have with you to move you in this space, so that it percolates down to your fifth generation of it. So this is the intention every time I am in a conversation with anybody. And with God's grace and my work, I would say it is already coming true. I am getting a lot of, I keep getting messages from my clients that today, what, my son was feeling challenged because of this. And then I went on sharing what you shared with me and what has immensely added value to me. And then now he is enlightened with that. So obviously I'm seeing that second level already happening in this space itself. I don't know whether I will be alive for that fifth generation in space, which is like a very big ambition. But still, I feel like I am doing my bit, whatever it is.
One personal question, this is not from my side because we have IBG members. I'd like to know how has IBG contributed to your life, personal and professional?
I think immensely, I would say immensely, because the kind of network we are, it's the kind of people we are very evolved, I would say, as a IBG family. So, working with evolved people, obviously you enjoy so much. I enjoy working with or having conversations with IBG members because I feel that the kind of people we are very evolved in its own manner. That's one part of it. Everybody has their own journey to share, because whatever one-on-ones I have, and then I literally want to know what makes you do what you do today, how you got into that space, what had been your biggest. So that is my favorite set of questions I go on asking. And with all the members I've interacted so far, the journeys have been incredible, and I love the journeys. I love the stories. I love to listen to people's journeys so much, and I feel that everybody has their own journey. Not only in IBG but outside, but then I feel here the people are evolved because they've gone through the grill, some kind of grill, and that excites me to be in this space, to learn from each of the members. So obviously that is one part of it. And then what value I bring onto the table obviously has helped them professionally and helped me professionally as well. So I would say personal, professional, immense value. I mean, I can't be more grateful to be a part of this community.
Me too. That's why IBG has TriBG. I have had various conversations. We had in the month of March, that International Women's Day, we had 3 IBG members: Kushluma, then Dimple, and Gaurangi. She was a surprise package. She won the rapid fire round.
Oh, wow, nice.
So yeah, so you will be also getting some surprise. So let us continue our conversation. This is my last question. Who is your role model? And second question will be, like, you are India's first intuition expert coach. Internationally, who is an intuition expert? And yeah, your role model, and this one question.
So my role model is obviously Tony Robbins, and one of the dreams and desires I have is to be called as Tony Robbins of India. So that's one thing that I'm looking forward for. That is the level of work that I want to keep doing and keep impacting the human race in its own manner, in different manners possible. So obviously, he is my role model where I want to go ahead and work with. Whom all I learn with, I think I learned from everybody out there. If you call it as the women leaders, specifically Indra Noy's journey, there are many people, many women as well, men as well, equally, because I don't see a differentiation there. But yes, this is where I feel that it creates drive in me to keep moving. That pumping of my heart says, you have to do this, you have to keep moving and really keep impacting, and that is where I come from. Yeah.
My last question: international intuition expert, who is in who are the internationally intuition experts? Well, because you are in India's first intuition. We'd like to know about internationally, what trends do they follow?
Yeah, so there are different, so you will find a lot of intuition experts which are there, and a lot of people are intuitive per se, especially in the coaching space. again, Tony Robbins has his own intuitive space which he works with, because if you've attended any of his programs, if you looked into it, so just knowing the person, he tells you are doing this or this is happening to you. So that is a piece of intuition only, because in that moment he is tapping into their energies as I do. So this is what it comes from. And there are many others like Lisa K. She's there. She also lives in the US. So there are other coaches as well. But then if you look at it from this aspect, that intuition is a part of everybody's life, and every coach uses it in some manner or the other. But then because my work is very different from the other ones, because they go methodical way, but I go disruptive ways, and that is what I call it as one of my USPs, being a national hurdle racer. Today, when I look back at my journey, and I want to really, so I love speed, Amirr. And they say in the coaching industry, it takes 6 months to 1 year to make that change. And I say, you know what, I'm here to disrupt it. Why can't we just get it done in a session, in 2 sessions or 3 sessions? And that's why that's what I go on doing it. And that's what I want to build the coaching industry per se, having that level of transformation happening in 1 session, 2 sessions, and not like you have to literally get on to the 6 months to a year. So people are reluctant to hire coaches because of this reason somewhere, I feel. But then that is where I feel that I want to break that myth. I want to be disruptive in its own way.
So welcome to the disruption you have caused today in the conversation. I'll hand over to Mansoor for the personal part and the fun part. So to you, Mansoor.
Thank you, Amirr. Right. All right. So Shraddha, let's begin there. The personal journey. All right.
Yeah.
So we know about all the professional things that you have told us right now. So what is it like in your personal time when there is like no coaching, no job related things? How do you spend your free time?
I rest a lot, actually. I read. I love to read and also to write. So I keep writing. I keep reading a lot. It just not about the work space as such, but then I like to read people's journeys, and how. So that is what I do. As I said, journeys excite me. So this is one of the things I love to do. I love to write also, because this manifestation of being a coach came from one of my writings in April 2013. I was in London, with my work. I always traveled every year, start of the year for a month to for the projects and stuff. And I would take my books and notebooks along with me. And this thing I wrote, that I want to share whatever I've learned so far in the corporate space with the world. And this is exactly the sentence I wrote, and I always keep on writing. So I think in general, whatever it's something that I love doing.
Right. So at the end of the work, what is like a typical week with you and your family?
So you're talking about the weekend?
No, the week. So like you go home, you're done with the trainings and everything, or you're not traveling that time. How is it like a typical weekend or a week with your family?
Yeah, so it's mostly spending time with my daughter, having a conversation with my husband. We eat together, so we talk about everything. And I take help from my daughter very much. So because she calls herself a problem solver. So she keeps on asking questions like, what is your problem, and I'll solve it for you. So we play this game all the time. We do jigsaw puzzles together. We do Sudoku together. So there is a lot that goes with my family as such, and that's how we go about spending the rest of the day. Yeah.
All right. As you said, like your role model would be Tony Robbins. a few of the things that you like, his few teachings that have always been with you. A few of those things, if you could tell us.
One of the things is if you are not in a good mood. So one of the things he always says that if you are in good mood, you can crack the toughest of the challenges. But if you're not in good mood, you can't even get along with your daily mundane stuff, right? And I know I stick by it too much. So that's one of the things. The other thing is, how do you drastically change your state of mind immediately? You are in despair in one moment, you're frustrated, you're not up to the mark, feeling up to the mark. And how do you do it in a very short span of time? Just immensely do it, give yourself a shocker to change the state of your mind. So these two things, uh, it's a huge value add to my life.
All right. Okay. As you told us that you were into like hurdle racing, a national player, how did that journey start?
I think that credit goes to my parents. Because when I was in fifth standard, my parents one day, took me to a sports ground. We had a Sports Authority of India ground at Indore, my hometown. And they just took me there and then got me enrolled. I don't know the reason why they did so, but I feel grateful that they did that, because of which I'm here today to this space. And everything in my life that has worked, not worked, gave me learnings, gave me success, I think I owe it to both of them. So yes, they actually enrolled me. And then as a person, I've been always a committed person. So if I will do something, I'll do it with full heart. It's just not that I will just dodge it, for the sake of doing it. So that's where I began my journey. So I was in fifth standard when I started my journey with sports, and from that it continued. Like, yeah.
Okay. So when your 6-year-old daughter sees you as like an intuitive coach and all that stuff, what is like her perception towards you as for a 6-year-old?
What is like her perception towards
Yeah,
me?
perception. Yeah, how is the perception towards you? Like, okay, like mom is like this,
Yeah.
like
So she feels. Yes, she feels immensely happy about it. She keeps on going and telling people like my mom earns, and she's a coach. And the reflection I see in her is, sometimes she sees me doing meditations or conversations with my people. Though those are very, the kind of as an ethics, I want to protect all the information people share, and my headphones are always on because of that. But then she listens to me when I do meditations with them, or I'm sharing some piece of information with them, and I see her doing that with me. So that is a very satisfactory space I come from. That one of the things I promised myself was that if I have to be a mom, I have to be a guiding light as well, equally. So she needs to be feeling proud about her own existence as I feel about mine. So it is just that the values that I want to give her is, she's born with something which is her talent, and she can make a difference to this world in whatever way she chooses to, and she needs to be happy and proud about it. That's how it is. So it feels very happy, because she sometimes takes me to through a 30-minute of meditation, and it gives immense pleasure, to do it with a 6-year-old. And when I go with the flow, it may not make sense at that moment, like whatever she's saying, but then when you come out of it, you feel light. It's a very different way of taking. So the tables turn, the roles shift, and I love that perception she has about me.
beautiful. That's very beautiful to you. For a 6-year-old to have that much immense of like energy and that thing. It's pure. It's very pure of that particular part.
Yeah, of course. And I feel blessed to have her as my daughter. Like, definitely. I keep on telling her this, like, I'm blessed to have you as my daughter and to be called your mom. So that is an immense gratitude I have in that space as well.
Definitely. Okay, moving on. So once you quit your job and you headed to become an intuitive coach, what were the challenges you faced, like from your family, friends? Like, what were the, aisa mat karo, vaisa mat karo type questions that you got?
Yeah, as I said, the first person was my father, who was like the biggest cheerleader, and now he was standing opposite to me, saying that, you know what, I want you to be financially independent, and I don't think this thing will give you enough money in your life for your own sustenance, survival, and growth. So obviously, he was the one who felt it. But then he also knew that I'm like him. Once I commit to something, once I choose something, I would go for it. And that is what I got from him, as my father. So obviously he knew that I'm going to still do it even if he doesn't like it. And I knew why he was not in favor of it. I knew that because as a father, he was protective for me. He wanted me to, stay intact with all the things that were happening around, especially with my mother's health, and my daughter was small and all of that which was there. So he knew that it will be challenging for me as a woman to actually deal with all of it. But then, yeah, I mean, it worked. So yeah, that was one. And with my mother's health, as I mentioned, that was another. My daughter was small, so that was another. Like the needs were different. Her needs were different at that point in time. So giving in my own energy and time to her versus what I wanted to build required more energy from my side. So possibly all of that was there. My friends and even my colleagues, they were immensely proud that you are doing something beyond, a lot of people think about it, they never do it, but then you are doing it. So they were very supportive, and still till date, they are very happy that you did it. So nobody said no for that. But yeah, from a family background, even my husband had been very supportive that if you want to do this, go ahead, do it. We'll see what next comes up. But yeah, so that was there. So I would say, and the biggest supporter was my mother, of course. I remember on my last day at work when I came home, she was here in Pune, and she opened the door and said, "Welcome. Now you are a businesswoman, and I'm so proud of you." And that kind of having that kind of a visionary mother, I think I feel blessed. She had been very much ahead of her times. At that moment, even throughout our lives, to give us that level of upbringing to make our own choices, to literally stand for ourselves, and the kind of commitment and sincerity and all of that, I think it comes from her. So I think she had been my biggest support.
Okay. Okay, moving on ahead. So we know that cancer, like you're a cancer survivor, and that journey. So could you please tell us a little bit about that journey?
Yeah, so I think I would be like to be called as cancer winner, and for everybody, I want us to change that word from survivor to winner, because as much as we would want to consider cancer outside of us and say that we are a winner, we are a survivor, we will always see that cancer as an empowering or powering capacities over us. But I want to see it as a different, in the different way, that we can overpower anything that we want as such. So I would want in general our nomenclature to change from a survivor to a winner, or maybe some other word as such. So yes, it was in 2012, and I think I'm blessed that I had to encounter something like this, because that changed the course of my life for good, and I can't be more grateful for that. That had been one of the incidences where it showed me that even being a positive person and forward looking person throughout my life, something can stuck inside of me, and something can blow me that much away, which I had not thought of that it could happen like that. So literally taking me to that dip point in my life where I don't know, what do I need to do? I don't know like why it came. Today I know why it came. I have all the answers for that. I've got the answers. I did those answers for myself, like why it is. And I can tell people also today like why they get what they get in terms of diseases if they are getting any of those. So I know why it happened. And I'm blessed that it happened because it tested my limits over how positive I can be, how I can actually go on building something of this sort that I've built today. So it's the coaching is journey of like last 10 years because 2012 shifted me so much. It empowered me so much. It transformed me so much. It was then I got cancer in 2012, and the past 10 years have been, like I said, people learn in 40 years of journey, and the past 10 years I learned so much out of it. And that made me feel that being a positive person, if I can be stuck to this extent, think about a normal human being dealing with so many challenges, and how can I help them to overcome that, and not be feeling stressful, exaggerating their lives in the negative manner. There is so much to live and expand. And that's where I began the journey on coaching from 2012 itself.
Okay. Right. I mean, coming back to something where you spoke about manifestation. So, as you said, like manifestation has been there. So, how did manifestation help you, like to come out of cancer and to build that certain kind of journey for yourself to where you are?
Okay, so it's very interesting. I think I was into self-help always from the time I remember myself. So I already knew about the secret, the gratitude and all the bits even before I got cancer. So I've been reading, I've been implementing, applying in various manners. And when I got this, I knew that this is what I would need to do. So somewhere, there was a blow, but then the way out was also visible a bit. It took a while to come out of that. Of course, it took its own course of time, some period. It was not that really fast. But then one of the things I kept on doing is that I didn't give up on all my goals. And I urge people to do so. Whosoever gets stuck with any kind of disease which has possibly a lot of permanence, or it might be there for a longer period, or it might be like you don't know where it is taking you, have goals in the other areas of your lives. When you have that, you know that you're moving. And when you're moving, you know that this physical state is not going to be permanent. It's going to change because it's going to evolve. It's going to give you energy from the other direction. So if your health is at stake, go do something on your professional front. If your professional front is at stake, go do something in your personal space. So this, you can actually keep on using it for yourselves. And I did exactly the same. I remember, even though I was diagnosed in, September sometime 2012, and I was about to take up a global role at that point in time, and I had to travel to London for that on December 1st. So because the December is a lean period and the global role was supposed to start in January, I was supposed to travel for, the transition at that point in time. And I didn't give up on that. I didn't give up on that. Actually, I wrote that I am in London on 1st of December, and I traveled on 1st of December. I did that. So that is where I feel that you don't have to give up on your other goals just for the sake, because you feel that this is inside of you and you will not be able to make through it, because all these things feel like there is so much of taboo around it, that whether you will be making through this piece or not, or what it is going to be. But even if you have a year to live, even if you have a month to live, you still have a chance to go for it. Like, it's not that your life is ending in this moment. If it is this moment, yeah, maybe self do whatever. But then, if that is something that you could go on creating, go on, do that. And that is what I preferred, and I did that actually.
All right. Okay. As a mother, as a wife, and as a daughter, now you've played all three roles and you're playing. how it has been differentiated through your professional life?
I think all these roles have added immense value to my professional life, I would say, because, as a daughter, when I played the role, possibly I was more on the receiving end. And, with wife as well, it's been like receiving, giving. And then with mother, it's more giving. So, it has added a lot of value in my professional way, the way I show up, the way I choose my work, the way I actually go on selecting and putting my energies in place where I need to. So the choices have become better. As a person, I've become better. So all of it has evolved over a period of time. And I think the roles have helped me to set myself on a path where I can have it all. So one of the things, if you call about, like, I'm coming into the women's zone now, saying that a lot of women say that, you can't have it all. You have to actually go about, sacrificing a bit here and there all the time. But I say, if you set the real boundaries, that this is my workspace, this is my, this is what I'm going to do with my family and all of that, you can have it all. Yes, it's not like I don't struggle a bit with it. Everybody does, because every day there will be a new challenge that would show up. Every day your child is getting older. They are also decoding themselves. They'll have different things to ask for, and you will have your own evolution happening. So it's like a mix that will be happening all the time. And then don't fear with that as well, because if what will be life if you don't have that fun of inventing something new every day? It's not like I don't fail, or I don't literally find myself in a struggling space, or I don't find myself like upset about few things. I do. But then the important aspect here is, how do you bounce back? And in my book, Circle of Perspectives, also I have talked about this term as rebound time, where how much is your rebound time will define the quality of your life. If you take like days together and months together to rebound, to get to that level of normality, then something is intrinsically wrong. You need to go about fixing it, or changing it. But over a period of time, you have to start learning, and that is the quest of life for everybody, for me, for you, for Amirr, everybody. It has to be like that. That how do I bounce back to my normal phase? We all admire the sages, the sadhus, because we feel that they don't feel anger, right? And and we do, as human beings, right? But it is also true that they are also human beings. Maybe their processing time is so faster, their rebound time is so faster that you don't realize it. It might happen, it gets in and it gets out completely. So the rebound time is so much faster that you don't realize that they might have felt it. So because we are all emotional beings, we are bound to have emotional feelings, and we need not run away from it. We need to experience them, face them in their face as such, and then the quest is about reducing that rebound time. And that is what I am up to as a human being, I would say.
Definitely. Okay, we know that you have won some awards. So can you please tell us what kind of awards you have won?
Okay, so there have been different ones. I have received the Vocational Excellence Award from the Rotary Club of, and I think that is one of the biggest one. Apart from that, I've been awarded by the Chamber of Commerce from Myanmar. So that is immensely like going out of the boundary to actually do something for the other country per se. I have done sessions for the World United from that space. And I think, the most important ones and the ones which kept me going was the great companies, So the Great Company Awards had been there from the last 3 years as a woman entrepreneur. On 8th of March, on the Women's Day, they always do that. And, every time there is a space, I see that it comes out. So I think it's a phase of appreciation, and I receive it with immense gratitude. Um, and that only tells me to just go on doing what I'm doing, and I enjoy it immensely.
Great. Okay. We already know that you said that you want to inspire the fifth generation which is coming forward. What would you want to do for like the generation now? How would you like to inspire them?
But so I think as much as I want to keep talking, in different platforms, in different areas as a speaker, to keep on, giving my intrinsic value to them, adding value to their life. So that's one part that I want to keep on doing with various spaces. Like here, I'm talking to you, so I know it's actually getting on to a lot of people from your end, my end. This conversation is all of us. So this is where I want to keep on doing it. That's one part. I think with my work, I want to keep on, getting into the corporate spaces and, talking to the teams and, and that's why, I chose to work with the CEOs, because, when it happens at the top, it percolates down to so many. And that was intentionally done, because, I feel that, the pyramid gets impacted if the top level, the bulb is on there. So the light spreads every other space.
Okay. Now, as you have met a lot of people, you have worked with a lot of people. This is something like a personal question. Okay. So what is the common problem that you see that everyone gets themselves into?
I think they're not comfortable in their own skin. It's a common problem.
Okay. So if you would give us an example
of as much as you're not comfortable. Sorry?
If you could give us an example, like with the person.
An example is like, so one of my clients, she approached me saying that, what, I want to be the CEO and I want to play this role of a CEO, and I'm in this company for so many years now, but then I don't see myself moving. The work is not making me feel excited and all of that. So the thing is, she wants to be someone else who she's not. Number one. So there is an innate desire to be that CEO, but then the image of the CEO she has in her mind is different than she can be as a CEO. So she can bring a totally different flavor to be a CEO, right? But then today she has this image in mind of like, if I have to be a CEO, I have to do this things, and I have to behave like this, and I have to deal with these kind of people. And today I'm not able to deal with these people. So obviously, what is the point of being in CEO? And then I don't know what I'm doing. And there's a lot of confusion, in that space. So rather than that, if you look at it from a space that I want to be a CEO, but then a CEO with my strengths, what I can bring on to the table, because I will be the decision maker, or I am the decision maker for the organization or for my business, whatever way it is. So having to work with their own strengths is what is the inner alignment. The journey shouldn't be to be someone else. The journey is to back to yourself, the person whom you are. And if you come out and do the way who you are, nobody else on this planet can actually, compete with you as such.
Okay. So we want to know, like, there's this thing going on between comfort zone and then discomfort zone. Like comfort zone is always going to keep you to a particular place, while the discomfort zone is going to take you to else places everywhere. So if you could shed some light on these two things.
Yeah, so basically the comfort zone and being stuck is like a vicious cycle. Being in the comfort zone, you get more stuck. The more you stuck you feel, you want to be in the comfort zone more and more. It's like you have no boundaries, and then slowly, steadily, you are creating the boundary, and somewhere then you are like completely stuck that you can't move at all. So it's always being in the comfort zone is like you are setting your boundaries, or you are getting your boundaries closer to you, which is not good for you as a human being, because intrinsically we are all born to grow, to evolve. And if that evolution is not happening, we're not going anywhere, and that's where you feel stuck. I'm not saying that you need to go on extending your thing just all the time like that. But what you can do is one area at a time. You can go on pushing your own self, getting limitless, or pushing your own limits across to get out of that level of comfort zone. So when you get out of the comfort zone, there is a new learning. When there is a new learning, you know that you are in a different zone altogether. You are growing. When you're growing, you enjoy that growth and you go on doing something in the other area or in the same area. So this becomes a cycle, which is like a very healthy cycle, then being in the comfort zone all the time. Yes, there would be spaces in times where if the growth feels like a lot of learning, I call it as a lot of learning rather than, a space of failure. At that point in time, you may want to find a space of safety and security for your own self. And that may be a space of your comfort where, where you find comfort, you want to be there. But then you have to be knowing that you have to move out from it. It's not permanent. So that is where, containing yourself. So the art of containing yourself in case you require that there has been a lot of learning going on. So you need that time to sit back with it, process it, and then stand up back and go on, firing in the world, go on literally showing up in the world, versus extending your container of life to experience more is what is the comfort and the, getting into expanding or coming out of your comfort zone for me.
Definitely. Okay. That was a really good thing, perception and very good point of view. Okay. So we come into the last question. Okay. The last question of the second part. So let's say now, what is your retirement going to look like? If you ever
I'm
decide...
not retiring. I'm not retiring, and I'm not going to retire ever. Like that word, for me, it means like I'm not doing anything. But I don't think I will be a person ever in my life who's not going to be doing anything. I will be going on having conversations. I will be impacting people in whatever way, like till my last breath. And that's my wish as well, to keep on doing what I can till this human life ends. So I know the next one, I don't know whether it will be there or not, but I would want to go on playing all out, full out, whatever way possible, for sure. So I don't have any. See, retirement for me, basically, if you ask me, is like you are tired of doing something and you don't want to do it now, so you go on doing something else. But if I'm enjoying immensely, like, to an extent that every conversation is a value add and you are evolving as a human being so much, who doesn't want to do it for the rest of their lives? And that is where I'm coming from. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So now we're moving on to the third part. Okay. So this would have 3 questions. So this is going to be like the fastest one you choose. Okay. So there is no right or wrong answers to this. This is personally your choice.
Yeah.
Okay. So whatever you have to go, like choosing it quickly. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll start. Okay. Spending time with your daughter or going for coaching?
Oh, that's tough. I would say with my daughter.
Okay. Okay. Traveling around the world or hearing people out?
Hearing people out while traveling around the world. And for the previous one also, I feel I will be a better coach if I spend time with my daughter because she adds a lot of value in my work.
Yeah,
so it's all related, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, the last one, okay. Meeting people in person or having online meetings?
I prefer online, always. I can add more value to, be there and then you just talk with 10 more people rather than, investing time in travel. Though I love traveling, it's not like that. But then if it is given a choice, I love online. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for that. Okay. So we're coming to the end of the session. I'll invite Mr. Amirr Virani to give the vote of thanks.
Before giving vote of thanks, I'd like to ask Shraddha, how much do you identify with the theme which we have, Stree Shakti? Say something about.
Okay, so with this theme, I like it, like energy within you, around you, because that is what is my work all about. So energy within you is like alignment, core alignment is energy within you. And when you are aligned, you are spreading it across to everybody out there you meet. So I love the theme. I love the theme.
So, one personal thing, define Shraddha Subramnian in one line.
Faith. I would define it in one word, faith. Building faith in myself and the people to have faith in themselves.
Super, super. So, we are ending our conversation of Stree Shakti, energy within you and around you. It was a lovely conversation which we had. We had just planned for 1 hour, but I think so, we have stretched till 1.5 hours, and we can continue with you. It is, we all, the viewers will also get pearls of wisdom which you shared, and your that wisdom will be carried forward. We look forward to another conversation which we shall continue, and so you're the winner of the fun fact round, so you'll get a gift hamper.
Oh, great.
That's why you said that you have to be quick. So you and your daughter part, spending time, that impressed. Family time, me time. So
Thank you so much. So I always convey that you need to have your me time. Unless you are filling yourself up, you can't give on giving to people. You will be empty. So keep on filling your cup wherever, whatever way you can, so that you can share with people so much, and with my work immensely, because it's a lot of energy. It's about more of energy and intuitions. So obviously, I need to protect my energies, enhance my energies, keep on, filling my own cup as much as I can, so that when I show up to the world, the way it needs me for them, it's going to work out perfectly fine. And, I help them to really move like that. That's the mission and that's the vision as well.
So let's take our cup, because this is a coffee conversation, and we have Mansoor. Yeah. So
Yeah, but
our coffee conversation, and stay safe, and we shall meet in person very soon.
I would want to thank you for this wonderful conversation, Amirr, because I have immensely enjoyed it. Like, the questions were awesome, and the kind of perspectives that I get to share with you, your people, and the energies in this space have been very different. So thank you for inviting me to this space, because it means a lot for me. As I said, I want to keep on going, talking about my journey, how it can add value. And, thank you for playing one of the people in this journey, as such, to really help me.
Did you realize, Shraddha, I changed all your questions for professional front?
Yeah, I realized that. And it's good that you changed.
Yeah, because going through the
I'm happy. I'm happy because, I love that kind of a conversation. The presets don't work with me. And I don't remember also questions, to be very honest. Like, I reviewed that page, and it was one time I reviewed, I gave my comments, and that's done. Like, but I didn't remember, because I always go with what comes in that moment. And I truly believe that the intention, every conversation I approach, is that with this conversation, whosoever needs to move, help me do that. Help me do that. So my words come out the way it comes out very naturally. It is not like pre-planned answers, and I don't believe in all of that. It may be right, wrong. There's nothing of that sort. Like, I am a human being, you are a human being, the listener is a human being. So obviously it has to be in a space that it is a human to human experience, and it is just not like a question answer and there is a right answer or there's a wrong answer. So I enter every conversation like that, and that was the only intention I had today also, that you know what, whosoever I need to reach through this conversation, I'm able to do that, and I'm happy to be that medium to be, you know, reaching this person, whatever way. Yeah.
That is our aim in coffee conversation of enriching
Yeah,
lives.
and that's why I said, you know, that's where I could feel the energy, because if that would have been not the intention, I would have not enjoyed that much completely. So my energy is also elevated in this space, and that's what I get it. Like when the energy is sucked up, I get it. When the energy is elevated, I get it. And then the energies, when they match, no, the higher thing comes up. You know, like the thunderstorm happens when the two clouds. So today's conversation for me was like that, because you're both of energies, and the questions you change and the things that you know you wanted to bring about and give it to your viewers, which was the intention, obviously, and that showed up for me. So thank you so much. I mean, it's lovely to be having this conversation with you, and I would be more than happy to do it not only again, but as many times you would want to invite me, because I know your mission and my purpose is exactly like the same, and this is how we go on creating stuff for people.
So stay safe. We shall meet in person soon. Take care.
Of course, yes. Look forward for that. Thank you so much, and
Bye-bye.
take care.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye.